Okay, so for today's project that we're going to be working on for the Under the Sea week for the Harlan Boys and Girls Club is we're going to be doing a beach diorama. Now, a few things to note about the beach diorama is you should have received a packet that had instructions on it about how to do this. One thing is I'm going to be giving a link out. Um, that they'll post on the Facebook page because some of the original ones I looked at were cut off a little bit, so there'll be another link to it, so that if you need to or if you can, you can print them off. Uh, but anyway, we'll go ahead and get and talk about it a little bit. Now, there's several different landscapes, beach dioramas you can make. You can make a small one that is color. You can make a small one that's black and white, or you can make a large one that's black and white. So a few things you need to know when you're doing this beforehand is before actually cutting out the pictures, take a ballpoint pen, okay, one without any ink in it, okay, and go across the pointed lines, run the tip along the dotted lines, pressing a little bit. This will make it easier to fold those parts of the model, and use a ruler to help with the straight lines. And now, if you already have them colored out, I actually got the colored sheet share, then that will save you a lot of color. And if you don't, then they'll look really pretty colored, so you can go ahead and do that. But if you already have them colored out, what you'll be to do, you need to take the ballpoint pen, like I said, an empty one, okay, not one with ink in it, and run it right along through here, or anything with a little edge on it. You can use about anything would work for it, a toothpick or anything like that. And then what you'll need to do is you need to cut out all the pieces and fold the parts on the dotted lines. And then you'll have to get some glue, and you'll have to follow the instructions in order to do this. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and use an empty ballpoint pen to mark along these lines, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut out along the dotted lines. One thing I should mention, the one that I'm doing the small color beach diorama, and I got the instructions are here. Like I said, there's 3 different ones. Each one has different instructions, so you'll just need to have the instructions that go with whichever one you have. Okay, so I started off with the background, what my instructions say. And so what I've done is I actually folded, I cut it out first off, and then I folded along the dotted lines. Don't cut out along the dotted lines, okay? You got to make sure you're careful of that. So I had a couple of things that I had to fold back. I had the flap, I had the bottom, and here's the other side of it. And what's going to happen is these two are going to go together kind of like that. You see you got the flaps and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and glue them together. And I'm just using Elmer's glue. The hardest thing is to get it to fold correctly. And like I said, you could use a ballpoint pen, what they suggested. I kind of gave up on that a little bit and started using the dull end of a scissors to do it. It seemed like that worked a little better for me. But anything you can use to kind of make just a little crease, don't cut it, so it'll fold a little easier for you. So I went ahead and glued that together, creates a nice background, and then I folded in the flaps, the bottom flaps and the side flaps. So the next thing I'm going to work on is for the base for this. And again, you just cut along the lines, and so I'm getting ready to do that. Okay, so I got the base here, and the base, this is kind of how it looks, just to show you what I'm going to be doing. And you got 2 bases, and I'm basically just going to be, gluing them together like that. So I cut them out first, and then I'm going to glue them. Okay, so I glued the 2 pieces that's going to make the base, and then I got 2 lines here I'm going to point at. One's there, and then one's there that you have to cut. Be careful cutting those. I actually used a little box cutter to do them, but box cutters, if you do use that, you have to be careful. Or you can probably use scissors if you're really careful on that. So you got to cut that in because that's where the background is going to attach to it. So the next thing we're going to look at is the background. We're going to insert the background into the flaps and glue the flaps to the base. As you can see here, it says glue C and D. So that's where the base is actually going to glue at. So I'm going to do that next. Okay, so here are my bases. I got 3 of them. They look like this, and basically I cut them out and I folded them, and then I put the flaps outward, okay, and these are going to be actually going to the back of the background part of the beach diorama. and it's going to provide support. Okay, after you get the bases done, then what you'll be doing is you got a broad variety of animal bases, like you got, just seals and crabs and turtles and just all sorts of different ones. You also have pelicans, you have seagulls, and you basically what you do on each one of these is you just fold it where it shows to fold it, and you cut it out first, and you fold it where it's supposed to say fold it, and then you glue it onto uh, the background and the base, the water, the sand, the trees, whatever, or wherever it actually goes. And so you just do that right over and over. You also got rock bases if you'll be doing. The only ones that you specifically put in certain places is it's got a place on the map for sea turtle eggs that will go there. So you'll glue them onto there. And it's got also a place for the sea flap, and we'll talk about that here in a second. So just go ahead and start cutting out the animals and all the rocks and everything, and then go ahead and fold them back, and then start gluing them on. So I'll kind of show what that looks like here in a second. One other thing I'll mention is if you're kind of having trouble wondering where to place everything, it's really up to you. But you can use the maps provided with the packet. It's got like maps showing where different places go. So if you're having trouble figuring that out, you can do that also.